Good morning, and welcome to Beauty Rehab. I am Morgen Schick, and this is Beauty Rehab. This is a show about being your most beautiful, feeling your most beautiful, getting rid of all of the crazy notions and pressure that society puts on us to look like a celebrity, be young forever, and look in the mirror and not see the greatest potential that you can be. So I'm Morgen Schick, and this is Lifestyle Talk Radio Network. Please call me at 888-454-3378. If you have questions, if you have comments, this is a forum for my philosophy, which came from 25 years as a Ford model. When modeling and makeup damaged my skin, I decided I had to figure out how to be a makeup artist to combat that. I wrote a book. I developed my own products for 10 years. I do a lot of TV, and I teach how you can circumvent the craziness of the beauty industry to help yourself look your most beautiful and really feel the most beautiful you can, so you don't hide from your age, you don't regret your old image, and you don't worry about your next birthday. Wouldn't that be fun? So today I want to talk about eyebrows. The most important feature on your face to really structure your face is your eyebrows. So today is called In Defense of the Natural Brow, because I'm not exactly sure what happened. In the 30s, there was a time where Marlene Dietrich and some of these old-time movie actresses had these crazy brows that were basically shaved off and stenciled in, and they made themselves look very harsh. That was a trend that thankfully we got away from for decades. And then we went to kind of a more natural brow, and now we are at a place where we are kind of abusing our brows again. We've got this overarched, over-stenciled, over-waxed, just over-plucked look, even over-Botoxed, that is not showcasing the brows we were born with, and it's not really helping you. And this really came to my eyes recently when I was going through old pictures from the last 25 years of my modeling. And I saw a picture of myself, and I had my natural brows when I was first asked to model. And I had these big, thick, beautiful brows. And I remembered, it immediately took me back to a place where I was at a photo shoot where I had been hired to do a big campaign, and I was working with one of the greatest makeup artists of our time. I was nervous. I was excited. It was like being asked to go to the show, asked to be in the big Broadway musical, you got the big movie. And I was beside myself with excitement. I get there, I sit in this person's chair, and he first says, I want to bleach your eyebrows. And I'm thinking, well, you're the expert, and I'm so honored to be here. So I say, of course, do whatever you have to do. And he then bleaches my eyebrows and then decides that they're still too thick. And I'm like, okay. He says they're too thick. I want to shave them a little. About 5 minutes later, he had shaved off completely my eyebrows. I looked into the mirror knowing that I was so lucky to be sitting in this expert's chair, and I could not help myself from starting to cry, and I immediately went into the bathroom and cried. And I will never forget that moment of thinking, I was so vulnerable to what an expert said that I allowed them to shave my eyebrows bald. And they never grew back the same. And I was hurt, and I was embarrassed, and I felt like I wasn't beautiful. And it took me months to get over it. And I don't ever want that for anyone else. And I left the bathroom, and he re-penciled in brows that were not fit for my face. So if you can imagine looking like a clown, but thinking that you're in the presence of greatness, I call this expertitis. I think when you put all your faith in someone you think is an expert, and then your gut tells you something's wrong and you don't listen to it, it's not a great thing. So I slowly but surely grew my eyebrows back. They never came to be that thick, gorgeous way they were before. And I never will allow myself to not listen to that gut in my stomach. And I will never allow anyone to, or I won't as a makeup artist, overpluck somebody's brows. So I want that to be your first tip for today, is beware of expertitis. There are brow places all around, and we don't want to be victims of what other people see on our face. I want you to get really used to what you should be looking like on your face. I want to take a quick call, because this is, a time for you, 888-454-3378, for you to call in. But I do want you, I'm going to give you tips about eyebrows this whole show, and I want you to think about the brow that is the best for your shape. I'd like to say hello to Stacy. Stacy's on the line. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, how you doing, Morgan?
I'm
with you.
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm okay. After hearing your eyebrow story, it's like, geez, that sounds like a freaking nightmare.
Can you imagine? But I'm sure you could, because we've all had those beauty moments where you're just like, wow, I should have listened to my gut.
Yeah, definitely. But you would think an expert would know something like that. Frightening.
I know. So, Stacey, tell me where you're calling from.
Well, I'm calling from Virginia, and I was calling about my daughter. You've dealt with makeup and everything. My daughter's name is Morgan as well. She has
love her already.
Thank you. Love the name. She has problems with acne. In fact, we have a dermatologist appointment at 2 o'clock today. And I was wondering what I could give her, because her face is so sensitive. What could I get her, because she's starting high school this year. Yeah.
There's so much pressure for her to be perfect.
The old perfection. I'm like, great.
Oh, my gosh. And is it causing a lot of turmoil in your life?
It's causing more turmoil for everyone, because everyone's concerned about it. And, she knows there's an issue, but, you got me, and then you got her grandmother, and then you got other people that want to chime in, what's the best remedy? And I'm like, well, she has a doctor. But I was looking for something that would be good for her skin. Without it, without it costing an arm and a freaking leg, first of all, that I could get that would be healthy, and not too much damage, or
We want to help her as quickly as possible, and the short answer is that acne has many. But acne has many causes. Some of them are internal hormonal, some of them are external.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much more to this answer than I can give you in this few minutes. But what I want you to remember is that over-processing, over-stripping her face could be exacerbated, making it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And when the doctor goes to her and says they want you to take, put something strong on her skin, it could probably make it worse. Mm-hmm. We want to take as much out of her skin as possible, meaning that no alcohol, no super strong hydroxys. because her skin will overreact and compensate to try and fix itself. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm. Wow.
And I just want you guys to be very aware that sometimes the over-processing doesn't help it. It makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to do, you know what, I'm going to do skin problems. I believe my next week's show is going to be skin problems. I want you to come back. I want you to call me, and I want to hear what the doctor says. Okay. Also, remember that a lot of medications that they'll give her are not necessarily good for her long term. So I want you to do a lot of research on the web as well. Less is more. Less is more. And kiss her for me, that Morgan.
Okay, Morgan.
All right. Thank you for calling, Stacey. Folks, we will be back in a few minutes. I've got more tips. I've got more about your brow and how it should shape your face. We will be back in a few minutes. Stay with me. Lifestyle Talk Radio Network.
I'm just too bad. You can buy a hair if it won't grow. You can fix your nose if you say so.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Morgen Schick, and this is Beauty Rehab. This is a show about dispelling what the society pressures that people put on us to be our most beautiful, and to get all the tools we need in our toolbox so we can find our truest beauty and have it directly connected to how we feel inside. We live in a visual society, so we got to make sure we show the world our best, most authentic version of ourselves. So I have a tip for you. Today we're talking about eyebrows. I call this show In Defense of Eyebrows because for some reason we have decided we need to have these fake, overarched, overplucked brows that just don't look real for the structure of our face. And did you know that most women should be using a blonde eyebrow pencil to fill in their brows? Even if you've got dark brown hair, all except very, very black hair should be filling with a lighter blonde brow pencil because you want it to look real, and this will fade into your brow and make it look, the extension or the filling in, look real. So I want you to try a brow pencil that is a much lighter color than your natural color. Okay? I would love to jump on the phones right now and let's get to work. I've got Laura on the line. Laura, welcome to Beauty Rehab. Where are you from, and tell me what your question is.
Well, I'm from Texas, so howdy, y'all.
I love that.
Yeah. I have a question. I am a 45-year-old woman, and I get Botox done on a regular basis. And one of the things that I'm most concerned about is, do we know if this is going to have any kind of long-term effect, and will it eventually stop working, and something I should be concerned about?
That's such a great call. You're very brave. Most women do Botox but don't ever say anything about it. But I think it's a really big concern that everybody's kind of worried about. So, all right, so let's do you do Botox? You do Botox just around your eyes? Do you do Botox? Tell me where you do your Botox, and tell me why you first went to Botox.
Okay. I started with Botox back a couple of years ago. My husband passed away, and I lost a lot of weight really fast, had weight loss surgery. And so it really just seemed unfair that I should have lost all this weight and I should have these really dark, deep lines. And my family trait is the forehead has really, really deep, deep, deep forehead lines, as well as the crow's feet. Okay. So I do it on my forehead and in between my brow and around my eyes. And I started doing it. It's just purely self-confidence. I mean, you want to feel attractive, and you don't want people to, because after he died, all the time people would say, "Oh, you look so tired, honey," and I'm like, "Ugh." Which to me meant, "Oh, you look like heck." So. Right.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your. I'm sorry about your husband.
Thank you.
And I'm it's so bittersweet, right? Because
Right.
you want to mourn, but you also did not die yourself.
Right.
So you're like, I'm alive, and now I can either have a dreary life, or I could have the life he would want me to have.
Right, right. And he loved me, and I never felt the need before, but now when I don't want to use the word on the market, but you would like to find yourself attractive to other
Exactly. Even if you're not on the market, you'd want people to think that you could be.
Right. There you go. That's a great way to put it.
It's what I always said. Don't be a model. Just look like you could be one.
There you go. There you
get
go.
everything.
I love it.
So it made you feel so much better to have all of these kind of things connect. So you had a great weight loss. And you kind of picked yourselves up by your Texas bootstraps.
Right.
And now you've got Botox. So I want you to not overuse it, because we don't want you to have those like plucky eyebrows that are too high. The 11 lines are the most important. Forehead lines to me, but you're saying that they were very dramatic. And when you have those dramatic lines, you do feel you look older.
You do look older. You just do. My whole family has it, and every one of them looks older as a result. And so it's made a dramatic difference. People don't know how old I am.
Don't you love that? Doesn't
I
that
do.
feel? Doesn't that? Do you don't lie about your age, right? Because you're like, I look amazing for 45.
Yeah, I don't. I have much younger guys that hit on me all the time, and I love it. But I'm always very honest. I'm always like, well, I want you to know I'm 45, and they're like, no, you're not. I was like, yes, I am.
I know. It's
45.
a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling. Okay, so the answer is Botox has been used medically for decades.
Okay.
Decades. For twitches, for sweating, for nerve issues, muscle issues, and there have not been any long-term effects associated with the use of the botulism toxin in the muscle.
Okay.
People do get used to it.
Okay.
But usually what happens is they don't get that muscle, they don't get that contraction anymore, so you could use more, or you may need less. Everybody's different.
Right.
So what you try to do is if you've got an immune system issue, I would say don't do Botox. You've been using it for years and you have not been sick, or you haven't had reoccurring infections, so you would know that you don't have that. I don't think that there is anything wrong with Botox if you are leading a healthy lifestyle and you're not overusing it. So
do you think switching back and forth between the Dysport and the Botox is something you should do, or does it really even matter?
I don't think it matters. I really don't. I think most people feel that one works better for them or the other one does. I've had both in my 11 line, because I think that's the most important thing for me, is that I don't look angry.
Right.
And Botox always lasted longer.
Right.
So I would be more of a Botox girl. And I am a huge proponent of Botox for the 11 lines, mostly because when you look angry, you look older, and you don't give off the heartfelt feelings that you feel if you've got those deep 11 lines.
Right.
But if genetically you have a lot of other lines and you feel beautiful and you feel like there's a connection and you look like your natural self and you are leading the life you want, would you say, Laura, you are leading the life? You would much rather have your husband, but are you leading the life you want?
Yeah, I am. And I'm happy, and I have the confidence, and that's what was important to me. So, yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am. So enjoy that face and figure, and look like you could be, even if you're not on the market. Maybe someday you will be. I bet your husband is looking down at you and so proud.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling me. I'm so happy you shared that story, the bittersweet of it. Ladies, I've got another tip for you when we come back. This is Beauty Rehab, 888-454-3378. I'm so excited you're here. Let's share all of our beauty tips. That's what we're here for, 888-454-3378. If you've got more questions, go on to morgenschick.com, morgenschick.com, morgenschcha.com. We'll be right back.
Just a little bit okay. I say, when I see your face.
Welcome back. I'm Morgen Schick, and this is Beauty Rehab. I am so excited that you're joining me. My passion is helping you navigate your most beautiful and fulfilling life. When you look in the mirror, I want you to glow at the image you see back. That doesn't matter whether you were 20 or 50 or 78 years old. You have the ability to be your most beautiful self. It is a very, very easy process. The media, society makes it seem so hard and so that we have to look like these cookie-cutter versions of a celebrity or of a model, and it is 100% not true. As a former Ford model, I'm still modeling, actually, but for 25 years I was a Ford model. I became a makeup artist because heavy makeup destroyed my skin. Modeling seemed to make me more insecure than I was when I started. I wrote a book. I have designed and manufactured makeup for over 12 years. And now I am here to teach you all the secrets that I learned as a model, a makeup artist, an author, and a chemist to put these products together. So I really hope you use this time and we can share all of our great tips. So I have another tip, and it actually comes off our last caller, Laura, who was telling me that she enjoys Botox. She uses Botox. It has made her feel younger, more beautiful, enjoy the aging process, which is one of the tools that you can use. The problem sometimes with Botox, though, or any type of false arching of your forehead or your arch on your brow, is that sometimes it can create an arch that you were not naturally supposed to have. And overarching can make you look like the Joker in a Batman movie. If you have a natural arch, you can fine-tune it. You can maybe pluck around to keep it nice and clean. But if you do not have a natural arch and you create one, even with Botox, it can make you look like you are always asking, why? Why? Sorry for the high pitch, but it's kind of like that. You're looking at someone, you're like, are you questioning what I'm saying to you, or do you just have the crazy high arches that don't fit your face? And he said, anyway, so that's a great a tip for you to think about when you're getting your eyebrows, your stringing done, if you get threading done, if you get waxing, is that you can enhance your natural arch, but don't create one if you do not have a natural high arch, or it will look false on your face and it won't be the framing you want. Okay, I would love to get to a caller really quickly. I've got Jamie on the line. Jamie, welcome. Where are you from, and what can I help you with?
Hi, Morgan. My name is Jamie. I'm from Florida. Now, I'm in the Sunshine State, right?
Yes,
it's
you are.
summertime, almost like 10 months out of the year, and I love to swim. And I swim in pools, beaches, both. But the problem is that my hair gets so damaged, either from the sun and also from the pool. And I was wondering if you have any advice on what I could do to prevent my hair from being damaged. It gets so tangled and knots, it gets dry. So what are some things that I could do to avoid that or prevent that?
I have some amazing ideas for you. But first of all, I want to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
So you swim in all types of water. You are taking advantage of your beautiful state, which I am so jealous of a little bit.
I love water sports. Yeah.
That's fantastic, and it's so healthy for you because there's no stress on your joints, which you are obviously already know. And so when your hair is your hair colored already, or do you have your natural color and it just gets highlighted from the sun and that kind of thing?
Yes, it's a natural color. It's brown. There's some light highlights in my hair. When it gets damaged, it gets a little duller.
Right.
And the sun does give it it brightens it up, it gives it some color, but I really don't like it when it's damaged. It's harder to comb through.
Right.
I wake up and it looks like I have a bird nest
on the back of my head.
And that kind of all the great things you're doing with the swimming. When your hair looks like that, it's the first thing you see. It's the first thing people see, and I bet that can take a toll on how you feel about your image when you look in the mirror.
Exactly. And, you know, when you have a rough time combing through it, you tend to pull out some of the hair so it gets less voluminous.
Exactly. So we need to protect you from all of that. And the volume is so important because as we age, we lose volume in our hair anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we really, and that can damage your self-esteem even more. So for everyone out there that's doing, you know, things externally that can damage the hair that they love, they've got to take precautions. So I am really glad you called. The first thing I want to explain to you is that because your hair is porous, meaning that it's got tiny little holes all through the hair shaft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever liquid you put on it first, it's going to absorb, and that is what is going to determine the health of it.
Right.
So from now on, before you go in any type of water, beach water, chlorinated water, any type of water, even if you have a shower and you find that you have a lot of iron in your water, that can change the consistency of your hair.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. Do you ever remember hearing about stars that wash their hair in Evian?
Mm-hmm.
The reason they do that is because if there are metals in your water or chlorine in your water, it will affect the color and consistency of your hair. And that can damage your hair. It can make it coarse. It can color it. It can oxidize the color if you've got highlighted or color treated hair.
Mm-hmm.
So before you jump in the water, you're going to get yourself a little bottle of it could be tap water if you know that you don't have a lot of irons or a lot of metals in your water.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to add a little bit of conditioner to it.
Oh.
You can spray it on your hair, or you can douse it on your hair before you go into the beach or the pool.
Okay.
Because if your hair is drenched before you go into a pool, your hair is not as apt to be that sucker up of the chlorine or the salt or the metals that are in the water. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that absolutely makes sense. Now, how long should I wait before I jump into the pool?
As long as your hair is wet.
Okay.
Think of it this way. If you've wet a towel, it's not going to get more wet. It's already wet.
Right.
We want the first moisture on your hair is going to be moisture that is good for it.
Mhm.
So your hair will the follicle will be full, but it will be full of clean conditioning water. And then as soon as you're done washing, as soon as you're done swimming, or as soon as you're done in the ocean, I want you to keep a little bottle with you of that clean with conditioner. It could just be a bottled water. And I want you to rinse out your hair as soon as you get out of whatever pool water you're in. Okay?
Okay.
We all have to... did this help you?
Yes, absolutely. I think this helps me greatly, and I'm going to try it. And I never thought about using conditioner before and after, but it sounds like that's something that would definitely help with the dryness as well.
100%. Try not to overprocess your hair after the fact. So not a lot of blow drying, not a lot of curling iron. If you have a choice of curling iron or blow drying, let your hair naturally dry and then use a curling iron.
Oh, okay.
Blow drying sucks moisture out of your hair much more than a curling iron does.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So everybody needs to know. Thank you so much, Jamie, for this call, because everybody needs to know that our hair is really important as part of our image. And there are simple things that we can do to protect it, to nourish it, and to have the lifestyles that we want without compromising our hair's future.
Thank you, Morgan. That was very helpful.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I love that Jamie shared this with you and with all of us, because when you think you're doing something good for yourself, like going in the water, swimming, being active, doing water aerobics, and then you don't want to do it because it's going to ruin your hair, we want to fix that. And there's such easy things that you can do to mitigate any damage. So I'm so excited Jamie called, and we are going to come back, and I'm going to give you another tip about gorgeous eyebrows. So this is the Lifestyle Talk Radio Network. I am Morgen Schick. Call me at 888-454-3378. Questions or comments, go on morgenschick.com. Follow me on Morgen Schick on Twitter. On Instagram, it's all Morgen Schick, M-O-R-G-E-N. I'm Morgan with an E. Come back, and we will give you more tips. I will give you more tips on your eyebrows. Thank you, ladies. Come back. Welcome back. This is Beauty Rehab. I'm Morgen Schick. I am so happy you are spending time with me. Call me at 888-454-3378. This is the Lifestyle Talk Radio Network. For more questions and comments, you guys can always write me at morgenschick.com, morgenschick.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Morgen Schick, Instagram, Morgen Schick, all those cool ways of that we get to connect with each other now. It's so cool. There's just no filter. You talk to me, I talk to you. It's awesome, and we're all sharing. I have been talking about eyebrows today, and one of the most important things that I want you to remember is that the length of your eyebrow is so important. It's actually the most important feature of your eyebrow, and it is a very easy way to know how long your eyebrow should be. You just take a pencil and you hold it up to your cheekbone. Your eyebrow should extend out to be even and in line, perpendicular with your cheekbone. Okay? If your eyebrow's too short, it makes your eyes look closed in. You can look older. You can look mad. So if you just lift your temple while you are extending your brow in nice, short little strokes, you can extend your brow and actually make your face look open, younger, wider. If you have more questions about that, go on my blog. I did an In Defense of Eyebrow blog tutorial. You can look on there and you can find out how to do that for yourself. Okay, let's get to a caller. I love when you call in because I think we all learn so much. This is Amber. Amber, how are you?
Hi, Morgan. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Amber. Tell me, where are you calling from and what can I help you with?
Okay, I'm calling from New York metro area.
Great.
And I have a question regarding how to deal with eye asymmetry. Specifically, if one eye is smaller than the other eye, and in addition, if the actual orbits are sized differently and shaped a little bit differently. This is a bit of a challenge for me because every day I go through this, and I'm just wondering, do you have any additional thoughts or information regarding this?
I do. I really do, and I want to get a little more information from you. Okay, so you have basically, you know that we all have different shapes on both sides. We do not, almost nobody has symmetrical features on both sides of their face.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So you're aware of that, but you're saying that yours is dramatically asymmetrical.
Yeah, unfortunately it is to the point where it's not horrible, but it's noticeable.
Okay.
And it does. It bothers me. I like to be able, to even it out or reduce it somewhat with the strategic use of cosmetics.
Correct.
Before resorting to something, that would be very invasive and expensive.
Are you very Amber? Are you very conscious of this? Is it something you're always thinking about when people are looking at you and you're meeting people?
Unfortunately, yes, because I noticed also with the different shape and size orbits, there's also a slight difference in the zygomatic arch or the cheekbone. because that whole area communicates with each other.
Exactly.
So
Okay, so it must make you feel like people are staring at you, or you're feeling like they are, even if they're not.
That's correct. Yeah, I feel different, and I feel like, oh, no.
Okay, but it does. Okay, so the short answer of this is that yes, we do have different size shapes, and what I want you to think about is that think about the eye that you know, which one you prefer yourself, whether it's your right or your left. And what I want you to do is get a light brown eye pencil that's not more than 2 or 3 shades darker than your natural skin color. Okay? I want you to step back 1 foot from the mirror, and I want you to draw on the eye that you are trying to change the shape of without look at the eye you like, which I don't want you to say eye you like because I want you to love both of your eyes, but I'm just saying for this purpose, the eye that you want to copy. And I want you to draw the eye that you prefer on the eye that you don't, but you cannot do it up close. You have to be about 6-8 inches away.
Oh, okay.
Because if you do it up close, you can't see the difference. And then once you're done, I want you to just blend out that liner a little bit, because it's only a few shades darker. It's going to actually look like a real line. It's going to look natural.
So
do you see what I'm saying?
I think so, but just so that you could just, I guess, judge if I'm understanding. Just to be the lower, you would draw it on the lower lid, right below the lower lid.
You're going to do it all around. You're going to draw on on the shape of the eye that you don't love, that bothers you. You're going to draw the shape of the eye you do, but you're not doing it with a black liner. You're doing it with a lighter brown liner that you can smudge out. And and you're going to then line the eye that you love, and line the eye that you don't love, but you're not using it with black, which would look harsh and fake. You're using a light brown that you can smudge out with your fingertips where it looks natural. You step back away from it from about 6 inches, and all of a sudden, you've created the eye you love on the eye you don't.
Okay, and you're saying that's just with the application of a lighter...
a lighter liner.
Right, not black, but about three shades.
About 3 shades. Try that a couple times and call me back, and I will give you more tips. If you call me back and tell me you've tried that, and I will give you absolutely more tips online, because I think a lot of women feel what you're feeling, like there's an asymmetry that drives you crazy, even if we don't see it. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's true, yeah, and it's the same thing with the cheekbones, because one, I know, is just slightly higher than the other.
And we can work on that. You got to call me back, because there's no short answer to this. Call me back again. 888-454.
I will. Thank you.
I will help you. I promise.
Okay. Thank you, Morgan.
You're so welcome, everyone. This is the time for you to get rid of those challenges. Let's fix them. Take it easy. I am so happy you guys called me, Jamie, Laura. You guys. You help us all when you call with your questions, and I love taking them. I love that Stacy called. This is Beauty Rehab. MorgenSchick.com, MorgenSchick.com. Follow me on Twitter, Morgen Schick, on Instagram, Morgen Schick. Let's be our most beautiful every single day. Every day is a gift, but your beauty on the outside needs to match the inside.